Hello, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do all the finishing touches to your level to make it game ready for your server. So I'm going to show you how to export your level so it's all packaged, and also to put all the finishing touches on there as well. And for this video, I'm going to do something slightly different. We're not going to be using this level. I'm going to do a total art attack move on you and show you something I did earlier. And so we're going to switch to this level. And this is our training level we've been developing for Miscreated. Basically our gun range and mechanics training level, where new players can come in and test out some of the mechanics of the game. So I still need to add some player spawners on this map. So I'm going to go to my layers and player spawners. I still need to add a few more. So these are crucial for when you enter the game, you need a spawn point for a player. So these are in entity, and then we need, I think it's called spawn point. So it's entity, others, spawn point. And you can place these anywhere you want in your level. So I'm going to place a couple of these around. And there's a good visualization of a character in the middle of it. And this is the way that the player will be facing when they spawn into the game. And what the game does is, when you run the level, when you jump into the level, when you load the level, it will pick one of these at random. So if you have quite a large level and you want a very random spots for players to spawn, you would want to put quite a lot of these. Maybe I want another person to spawn down here. And maybe I'll change these later, but these, for the demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna kind of show you where I would place them, or how to place them. You can even put them in houses if you can even have someone who spawns in a house. You don't have to. It's quite interesting to do that. So yeah, that's one of the things you definitely need when you before you finish your level. You need a place for players to spawn. So I've just put a few around. I would have to do more, but I just want to be quick with this and not waste your time. So we needed spawns, and I also wanted to change the boundaries, and I've already done them on this level, but I haven't demonstrated this before. Let's freeze everything, put these back. So I have sections in this level where I don't want the player to go, because if they go through here, you know, there's nothing there for them. It's the edge of the map. So I want an invisible wall, essentially, to block the player from going there. So I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to make it again. It's really easy to do. So what we need to do is get a brush, and then primitive. So there's a primitive box, so it's objects default, and then there's primitive box. And you have something that looks like that. What we want to do is we want to scale it so it fits in this canyon here, basically. So we want to go onto the scale tool, which is this, and I want to click this lock here. That unlocks all these values. So if you keep that locked, they'll scale uniformly across all axes. If I unlock it, I can select the Z and just scale on the Z axis. I want it quite tall. Maybe I can make it a bit thinner on the X. So thinner on the X. Maybe I want it thicker on the Y. Go. Fill our canyon here. and we can rotate it. We want rotate tool, move tool, move it into the ground a bit. There we go. And we can turn off shadow maps and rain occluder if we want to. So now we've got this big white box there. And I don't want that visible, obviously, because it looks stupid. So we have to go to the material editor again. And in here, we want to search for invisible. There's one to materials, it's called Collider No Draw Invisible. And so we want our primitive box selected, and we want to click Assign Material. That's rendered it invisible. It's also, we use the box, physicalized, and I can't go past. There you go. There's one thing you need, or you may need to use on your map. Say if you have an ocean, you would probably want to add these primitive boxes as well along the ocean. Or my recommendation when you do make these primitive boxes, invisible walls, is don't make them too big, because if you make them absolutely ginormous, the engine will say this object's too big, we're not going to put it into the game. So if you do get that error, well, the way to avoid that error is to make sections of it. So I have, let's make it daytime again. So I have this one here. Maybe I want to make it go all the way along the side here. I just copy it again, the Y. And if I want to see these again, I could select them again, go into the materials tab and press this button here, which removes the material and it sets it back to its default white. That way I can see them again. And then I can reapply the material once I'm done and render it invisible again. So that's one thing we need. We need invisible walls to block off areas that we don't want the player to go, or run off the entire map and fall through oblivion because under the map is absolutely nothing. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do with that. So I've got my player spawns, I've got my boundaries to the map, and this map is already completed with all the vegetation, all of the sound areas set up. And we will be releasing this training level map to be used in the mod SDK. So you can look at what I built here and take it apart, and you can see all the different components that I've been using to build this map. So like the water, the rivers, and how I set them all up. So you can dissect this entire map in the editor and have a look at what I did to construct it. So now all I need to do, I've finished my level, put my spawners down, I've done everything, added all the buildings I want. Now I want to package the level into a file that the game can recognize. So first of all, I want to do file generate terrain texture. Now the resolution is kind of important. It's all determined on here. So I've put this to 2K, 2K, 2K. So this is a 4K by 4K map, terrain texture map size, that is. If you have a 4K map, you know, you can change these tiles to different resolutions, and that gives you more fidelity in the color map. But the bigger it goes, the more performance cost it is. But mine on here is 2K by 2K, which is it's 4K by 4K. So when I go to File, Generate Terrain Texture, I want to select the 4x4 one. Make sure the high quality set. We can leave the terrain color multiplier as is, and do not click do not click this button here. This is calculate terrain sky accessibility. This is no longer used in the engine, and if you try using it, I believe it will crash the editor and probably corrupt your terrain texture. So don't click that. So click OK, and what it's doing now is baking down all our terrain colors onto the terrain texture. So when you've done some terrain painting and you click generate terrain texture, that will bake down all those textures for you. Now that's done. And so our terrain texture is all set up and ready. If you've got AI, you want to do kite generate and run that, and kite saves tiles as well. And I did explain that in the previous video, but you would want to do it for when you have your final level exported and all the objects are down, and you want to generate the AI navigation mesh again, just in case you've made some changes, etc. So next step is we need to export this to engine. So it's right here, go file, export to engine. So we click that and we let it run. You just give it a minute. And in the console, you'll see export to the game was successfully done. And what that's done is, for me, if I go to the training level, it created this level pack file, and this is the AI mesh file is, I believe, is the only files that you need for your server. So it's just the level pack file, the XML file here, and some of the other pack files in terrain packs, and the AI nav mesh pack file, .mesh file. I mean, I believe Terry will do a video on how to actually run your own level on your own dedicated server, but that's how you pack it up for your server. So generate terrain texture and then also export to engine, and that will package it into the file that you need to run in the actual game mode. And yeah, that concludes my little series of tutorials to get yourself started on the mod SDK for Miscreated. If there are any other videos or any other topics you want me to cover that I haven't thought of, then please let me know on either our Discord. I think it'd be better if you just tweet at me, is at Miscreated Marco. You just tweet at me and I'll have a look and see if I can make a video on a particular topic that you would like me to cover. Maybe I'll do a stream in the future and we can do a Q&A or something. I'll definitely figure it out. So yeah, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope that these series of videos have been very informative to you. Like I said, join our Discord, get in the discussion, and yeah, that will do. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.